I know it's dark, but that's just the way it is. It's nighttime, like 10 o'clock Saturday night. I am off work. I keep the lights low at night. I do have some sensitive eyes when it comes to light, so I like lower light. I prefer it. It's easier on the eyes. So let me cover the first 5 weeks of UPS and how it's been. Okay, yesterday was Friday, which was the last day of my fifth week. So that's 5 weeks so far. And honestly, it's physical. You got to get used to it. It takes a minute. That first week is training, so you don't do a whole lot of physical stuff. You just go over training and safety and bunch of online courses. The supervisor's training supervisor, he's with you every day for those first 5 days. You tour the facility. You have to wear like a blue vest, like it's a blue safety vest, and it says on the back, it says inside only. So it lets everybody in the building know that you're new, because you only wear that vest for the first 30 days. So they know that you've got less than 30 days on when you're wearing that blue vest, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's just it's actually beneficial to you and everybody else. If you make a little mistake, they're like, oh, he's new or she's new or whatever. Supervisors are going to help you more when you wear that blue vest. They're going to ease up on you a little bit more when you wear the blue vest, because they're like, oh, this person just started, give them a break kind of thing. And even when the blue vest comes off, by then you are, you do feel like kind of like a veteran. You do. You're like, I've been here a month now. I kind of got this. But there's always new stuff to learn. They've been sending me to an area called Metro, which is basically the brown package trucks that you see UPS driving, the regular, normal, everyday UPS trucks that are all over the place. They drop off packages, pick up packages, deliver packages. You see the guys wearing the brown uniform and the shorts. That's Metro. And they sent me there for a week to train with those guys. It was fun. Same basic concept. You're unloading trucks, putting all the packages in the proper area off on the conveyor belt, trying to do it as quickly as you can, without hurting yourself. It's not hard. Just you got to go as fast as you can, reasonably. There's no pressure. You just got to go as fast as you can. If you're going too slow, they try to help you. They're like, hey, use this, use the belt, or use this technique or whatever. But get into a rhythm and you're good. It's not that big of a deal. Then this last couple of days, I went back over to the original unload area. Now, here's the thing with unload, as opposed to the other areas. There's sorters, there's loaders, there's unloaders, there's Metro, there's a bunch of jobs I've seen. Now I'm starting to see the whole facility. There's a ton of different things you can do. You can work in bulk. You can work upstairs and help scan. There's just probably a good 35 to 40 different positions within the hub that you can do most of, including supervisor. If you want to do it, I don't. God bless the supervisors. I don't want that pressure, and I don't see too many supervisors on a daily basis smiling. They don't look like they're having a good time in there. But I know they have a job to do, and they're trying to do their best. Some of the supervisors are really young, and this is their first supervisory job. 19, 20, 21 years old. Some of the supervisors. The thing about UPS is, in order to drive the trucks, any vehicles at UPS, you have to be 21 or over. So you have supervisors there, one of mine in particular, who's only 20 years old. So even if she were to go back, which once you switch over to supervisor, you can't go back, she wouldn't be able to drive because you have to be 21 and over to drive. That's just the UPS rule. I don't know why that rule is. I think it has something to do with hazardous materials, because sometimes they deliver hazmat. And I think you have to be 21 or over through that Department of Transportation rules for driving hazardous materials, chemicals, possible explosives, or whatever. I think you have to be 21 or over to handle that. And I think that's where that comes from. But yeah, we have supervisors who are only 20. And supervisors make $26 an hour if that's what you want to do. They work 5-hour shifts, but they get doubled up a lot, so you can do a double. So 5 and then do another 5, that's 10 hours, $26 an hour, do the math. Everybody gets paid every week at UPS. The drivers, the package handlers, the sorters, the supervisors, we all get paid every week. Supervisors have to pay more for their medical than we do. I don't even think we have to pay hardly anything. We're union, they're not. Those are some differences. What else? The ultimate thing is, dude, dress comfortably, have a good attitude when you get there, because sometimes it's going to be difficult or hard or physical, of course, but mental too. Like, the mental game is probably harder because sometimes you're not in the mood to be moving heavy boxes, packages, and lifting. And that's what you got to do every day. 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. But I prefer to unload versus load. They're building a wall. It's tough. That's tougher. And they still got to do it at a fast pace. And it's got to look right and all that kind of stuff. It's got to be, flat walls, and they're building. Oh, gosh. More power to those guys. I like unload. That's where I'm at. I do like it. I'm glad that I like it. I'm glad I got unload. Here's the thing. I spoke to one of the other unloaders that works in my area. So he's on my team in my supervisory group or whatever. He's been there 10 months, 11 months. He is the second most senior person in that hub for the unloader team. There's only one person who has more seniority than him, and that guy only has him by like 2 weeks. So that other guy's been there like almost a year. This guy I'm talking to you about has been there 11 months. And he told me that in September will be a year for him at this hub and just at UPS, period. He just got hired 11 months ago, going on a year. So, and he's the second most senior guy. Goes to show you how, two things what I'm trying to cover on that. One, that hub is very new. They just opened about a year ago, reopened. They opened 2 years ago, closed down for a few months, reopened a year ago, and rehired a bunch of people, transferred a bunch of people. So everybody there is less than a year on, because September of last year, I think, is when they opened, or something like that, or August. So it's been a year, literally. Yeah, they've been open a year. So it was August of last year. One of the supervisors just told me that. The other thing about that was, he's only got 11 months of this guy I'm talking about, and he's number 2 on the seniority list in the unloaders. What does that mean? What it means is, if you stay as an unloader, for me anyways, your chances of moving up in seniority are very good. Because how it works is, after 6 months, you've been there 6 months now, right? Say you 6 months in a day. You can put in paperwork at that point to request to go drive. You say, I want to go drive, and you put it in, and then you sit there and wait until your seniority comes up, and then they go, hey, man, you're next. And it's been 9 months, 10 months, a year. You're going to go drive, okay? So that's how it works. After 6 months, you start putting in requests to go to different places. Drive or work as a sorter, or maybe go and learn something else, inspection. There's all these different jobs. I'm telling you, there's like 30 different jobs within that hub. And you can do any of those 30 jobs. Not just management or supervision, but they drive little robot carts around. They do bulk packages. There's all these different jobs. And most of them are not as physical as being an unloader or a loader. Loaders and unloaders are probably the two most difficult physical jobs at that any hub for the most part. There's a couple other jobs that are kind of tough, but for the most part, 85% of the heavy load that's done at these hubs is carried the shoulder of the burden of the weight of that hub getting stuff moving is unloaders and loaders. Ask anybody that works at any UPS hub, they'll tell you the heart and soul of those facilities, those hubs, are the loaders and the unloaders. And you'll see people that work at other areas within the hub. Most of them will say, I was an unloader too, and then I switched over to this. Or I was a loader too for 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, and then I switched over to do whatever else they do. One guy I talked to, he transferred from another hub to the hub I'm at. He's been with UPS for 15 years, does not have the desire to drive whatsoever. He does not want to drive. He may even have like a little physical disability. I don't know if he can drive, but he has been with the company 15 years. He makes pretty good money. He makes like 26, 27 an hour, 28 an hour, somewhere like that, because they give you $1 raise every year. And he started at $14 an hour way back when, and he's just been getting $1 raise a year every year. So he's up there like in the high 20s, 26, 27 an hour, or something like that. And he does a really chill job. He runs a computer that kind of sorts packages, scans them, makes sure they're okay or something like that, and separates, sorts them, and makes sure that they go to the right place by zip code. And I think he deals with returns or something like that. And I watched him work for like 2 minutes one day because I was on my way to get water, and I was checking him out, and he was talking to me about it. And I was like, I only got 2 minutes, bro. But he's like, yeah, man, it's a cool company. Been here for 15 years. He's like, I don't want to drive. But he goes, I started off as an unloader, and he goes, and I sucked it up and dealt with it, and then I do this, and I like it. And he's been doing whatever that is that he does for like 6 years. So he had to be an unloader for a long time, and then he switched over to do what he does now, and he likes it because it's not physical. He's not bending over and lifting heavy stuff consistently. You're gonna always be somewhat around packages in any hub and help out in that way, one way or the other, whether it's loading, unloading, or sorting, or taking the bulk packages to where they need to go. People are going to ask you for help. Supervisors are going to say, hey, can you stay and help out this team? Can you stay and help out that team? And that's where you're going to make your extra hours. And there's always opportunities to work extra hours there. You can stay over, work a double shift every day. They ask me all the time. I say no only because I have a second job and I work in the morning. I have to be up at 6, be at work by 7, 7:15, whatever. Work until 4:30, get off, shoot over to UPS. And, that's Monday through Friday. It's rough, but it's not going to be all the time for me. Just a couple more months, maybe 3. I'm paying off my car, which is just about paid off now. And I am saving money. I'm trying to save up like $15,000. So that's my goal. I have a goal. And then after that, I'm not going to work that other job. I'll just work UPS. And if I need double shifts, I'll work double shifts at UPS. And I'll just wait my turn until I hit my 6 months, put in my paperwork, request to drive, and then just suck it up, deal with it. It's a free workout. I'm losing weight, drink water, and just keep shedding the pounds. I don't know. I can't tell how much weight I've lost, but it feels like I've lost 6, 7 pounds, 8 pounds in those 5 weeks. And, you alter your diet too. I try not to eat jacked up food, nothing fried, not a lot of carbs, stay away from that. I eat a lot of fruit, I eat a lot of fresh fruits, a lot of vegetables, drink a lot of water, I drink coffee, I like coffee, that's just me. No fried foods. I'll treat myself on the weekends, and I cut out beer, like there's no alcohol, I'm not drinking any beer or alcohol. It's just not worth it for me. It's unhealthy, and when you're doing physical work like this, alcohol it drains you, it slows you down, something you don't need. It's like being a professional athlete. They call us industrial athletes. When you work in an environment like I work at UPS, we're kind of known in the biomechanics world as industrial athletes, because for 4.5 to 5 hours, you're sweating, moving, lifting, bending over, standing up, climbing on stuff. You're doing a lot of stuff physical for 4.5 to 5 hours, 5 days a week. Tell me that's not athletic. You're wearing your boots and your work socks and comfortable clothing like an athlete would, and loose shorts, and it's hard physical labor, so you're an athletic type person in that way. You're doing athletic type work. There's not a lot of cerebral stuff, like it's not too intellectual. So it's not hard in that way. You don't have to count anything. It's not like you're doing math. It's just you got to have your body right, and your mind has to be ready to work. You got to go in there like geared up up here, mentally ready to go. Just, yeah, let's get this. 4.5 hours, man. It's going to go. We got this. And if you're doing that, you're fine. You'll be fine. And as long as you can get up for that every day, because some days it's going to be hard. If you can get up for it, you're going to be all right. And just understand that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. It's not always going to be a physical workout and hard. One day you're going to drive, or one day you're going to be a supervisor, and they don't have to do any lifting. And the supervisors make really good money, $26 an hour. But they're stressed out. They're under a lot of pressure. It's a trip. That's just what they want, and more power to them. God bless them. And I don't have any problems with any of the supervisors. They do their job. They can't yell at you. They can't threaten you. If you get in trouble, it's really only because of attendance. Or if you're not where you're supposed to be. So just be where you're supposed to be. Don't call off sick. You get 3 sick call-outs within your first 120 days because you're on probation, so you can't call off more than 3 days within those first 120 days. So it's like you got 4 months, which is roughly about 100 days or 120, something like that. Those first 4 months, you don't want more than 3 call-offs. You don't want to miss more than 3 days. And you definitely don't want to be late. So if you're going to be late 4 minutes, 3 minutes, you're okay. By the state of California, the labor board allows for 5 minutes because of traffic. So they can't threaten you, write you up, or fire you for 3 or 4 minutes or 2 minutes late. If it's 10 minutes late and you do it twice a week, 3 times a week, they'll probably write you up or talk to you about it or come and say, hey, what are you doing? I haven't had that conversation because I'm never really late. I've been 2 minutes late a couple of times, where it's we're supposed to clock in at 6 and I clock in at 6:02. They've never talked to me about that. I'm pretty sure they understand that parking is a bear there. There's hardly any parking. I'm coming from one job to the next job, and they know that because I've told my supervisors that, hey, I can't stay because I have another job, and then when I leave that job, I come here. So it's a long day for me. I work from 7 in the morning until 4:30, and then usually I start at UPS at 5:15 on most days, some days 5:30, and then as you get towards the middle of the week, it goes up to 5:45 p.m. 6:15 is our start time, which was Friday. We started at 6:15, and we got out of there at 10:20, 10:15, 10:20, so it wasn't bad. I started at 6:15 in the evening, and I got off at around 10:15 at night. I was home by 10:30, took a shower, watched a little TV, knocked out. I ate something and knocked out. Drank some water. Woke up this morning at 7:40 on a Saturday, chilling. Tired. Took another shower. Drank some coffee. And just had to go pay some bills today and do a bunch of stuff and run errands and rest, watch football, preseason, and just enjoy the day off, man. Appreciate my free time. All right, so trying to think what else I could talk about. 6 months, put in your request. Don't forget, whatever you want to do, you could do it. If you want to go to another section after 6 months and you don't want to be a loader or an unloader anymore, go do it. So here's the thing. If you can set yourself mentally ready for knowing that if you don't like loading and unloading, doing that physical labor because it's hard, it is. I'm not going to sugarcoat it or snowball you. It's physical. It's hard. And if it's not for you, try to set yourself a goal to say, I'm going to do this only for 6 months and then get the hell out of here and go work at another section within the hub. And there's a lot of other sections within the hub, and those jobs are not physical. And you'll learn some different stuff, and you'll like it. More than likely, you'll like it. Understand this. After 9 months, you get full medical, full dental, full vision. That's big. After, After 71 days, you are fully, completely in the union. So you got all union protections. After 71 days, you are considered a full-fledged union employee. I got 5 weeks in, so I don't know how many days that is. Five working weeks. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So I have 25 days in, working days. All I have to do is 71 to be a fully fledged union employee. So I just deduct 25 days from 71. That's what I got to do left. and I'll be covered by the union, and you pay union dues and all that good stuff. And then they back up off you a little bit. Not that they're on you now, because if you're doing what you're supposed to do, they don't bother you. If you show up on time and you get in there with a good attitude and you say, where you want me? Go to trailer number 4, Brian. No problem. And go in there and just start doing what you're supposed to do. They don't bother you. They never bother me. They leave me alone. But they do check. They walk past all the trailers and they look in to see if you're there. And not only do they look in to see if you're there, they look in to see if you're not on your phone, if you're working, if you're physically moving, doing what you're trained to do. They just keep walking. They leave you alone. But if you're not, they'll come in and say, hey, are you okay? They're trained to talk to you a certain way. Because I see it all the time. The guys next to me, or they'll double you up. If like one guy's tired and he's slow, they'll double you up and say, hey, Brian, can you go in there with number 7, trailer 7, and then I'll help them out. Or if you're tired, they'll come help you out, because I get tired too. After 2.5, 3 hours of that stuff and you only got an hour to go, you're worn down, they'll send a guy to help you out. It's just human nature. You get tired after 3.5 hours of that industrial athletics. All right, so I covered that. Oh, there is talk of a raise. I don't know exactly what's going on with that. I wish I had more information. I don't have any information, just rumor. It's all over the internet. I've seen it on YouTube. Other UPS workers have posted about being in Florida and in Georgia getting $18 an hour or $17.50 an hour. One guy in Georgia commented on my page, on my channel, and said he just got hired as a package handler, as an unloader like I do, and he's getting $17.50. He just started like last week, I think. And if in Georgia, I don't know how the cost of living is, but I think California is higher. I'm pretty sure California is a higher cost of living. So there's talk that raises are coming down for everybody, which will be nice. And I don't care if it's $16.50, $17.50, a nice raise would be cool. Because it is hard work, it is physical, and I think that we are essential workers. Everybody's an essential worker. If you perform some kind of function and you work and get paid for it, you're an essential worker. Nobody's above anybody else. Cops or firefighters, I respect cops, firefighters, but UPS delivers packages to police stations and to hospitals and to cops and firefighters' houses. So they need us too. We all need each other. There's nobody above anybody else. If you work at a gas station, we need you. If you work at a grocery store, you're dealing with the public, with all this craziness going on right now, you're an essential worker on the front lines too, because you are a checker person, checking people out, and they're walking past. You come in contact with a lot of people, more than most people do. So props to all the market cashier, checkers, people that work in grocery stores. You're essential. You're a school teacher, you're essential. I don't care what, you're a security officer, you're an essential worker. Everybody's an essential worker. You work in an office, you're an essential worker. Okay, so the raises, I covered the raises. I don't know much about the raises, but there is a lot of rumors. Check YouTube on that. There's a few people I follow that are UPS employees that do YouTube channels, and they talk about their specific experiences at their specific hubs, wherever they live, Tennessee, Georgia, whatever, Las Vegas. I'm talking about La Mirada, Southern California. In my experience, I'm still new. 5 weeks in, you do feel like a veteran because you're like, yeah, I've been there 5 weeks, but I'm still very new. It's all new to me. I'm liking it. I'm getting used to it. I like the fact that I have lost weight and that I can hang with that physical workload. It's not that bad, really. You just gotta have a good attitude, drink a lot of water, and get after it. And it's only 4.5 hours of your life. Sometimes 4 hours. A lot of times we get out of there in 4 hours. And it's beautiful because I'm like ready to go. I don't want to stay 6 hours, 7 hours doing that physical work. I'd rather leave in 4 hours. So if they're like, hey, we're done with the sort, who wants to stay? I'm like, peace out. I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for the time, and I'll be back Tuesday. And then I come in with the same attitude and knock out 4 hours and go home. Sometimes it's 4.5 hours. Rarely do we do 5 hours. Sometimes we do. Monday is usually actually our longest day, the heaviest day, and that sometimes can turn into a 5-hour day. We'll start at 5 and we'll get off at 10. So that's 5 hours. 5 to 10. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 5 hours. But then the rest of the week we're starting at 5:15, 5:30, 5:45, 6 o'clock. So you're doing less than 5 hours. It turns out to be like 4 hours. So it's not that bad. Any questions, please ask. I'll tell you what I know. What I do know is it's a good job, good company, good benefits. The medical, the dental, and the vision plan alone is well worth it. It's a PPO, so you get to pick your doctor. You could go see a specialist if you need to. You can get surgery. Your kids, your husband, your wife, whatever, can get surgery, can get full medical and dental. The dental is great. The vision is great. The medical is great. No copay. You can go to Kaiser, pick whatever. It's one of the better insurances offered. UPS does have a pension for its employees. So when you get hired and you stick around for 6 months or so, you will be paying into your pension. Then the union, which is the Teamsters Union, has a separate pension that you can also put money into, and they can take money out of your account, and you have a union pension. Then, of course, you're going to get Social Security. As you work and get older, when you turn 65, you can collect Social Security and then get your union pension and then get your UPS pension and your 401k, which is stock market stuff that you invest on your own if you want to, and they take money out of your check. And I think UPS matches dollar for dollar. So if you put in like $100, then UPS puts in $100, something like that. But so there is a 401k plan at UPS. There is a pension plan at UPS, which a lot of companies nowadays do not offer pensions. So it's one of those rare places. Like police departments offer pensions. Teachers, if you're a school teacher and you're tenured, you get a pension when you retire. Firefighters, you get a pension when you retire. City worker, county worker, you get a pension after 25 years or whatever. UPS is like that as well. It's one of those companies that offer those kind of old school great benefits that a lot of